Before Satoshi Kon began his filmography, he was working on a manga called OPUS, and given the nature of that series, I am fascinated by the poetic irony of how that manga was never allowed to end. Because the plot was about a manga artist who was being explicitly drawn by Satoshi Kon, who was struggling to write the end of their own story, because the character that he was going to kill off in the finale because he couldn't think of a better ending decided that they were going to take that and stole the last page. But through that moment of resistance, everything breaks down, and every effort the characters make to try to restore the story to a functional version of itself only highlights the inevitability of that failure. There is no act of God that can restore the damage that's been done because the God of this world is flawed. He didn't know what to do, so how could he rely on his own creation to possibly come up with a better solution to the problems that he couldn't? The reason he decided to kill off one of the characters for the finale was because he made the villain that they were going up against too powerful for them to reasonably be expected to defeat. So when the breakdown of this reality leads to that villain having power over not just the characters, but also the creator himself, there is nothing for them to do. There is no power that they can rely on that could be expected to defeat this villain, because it was designed that way by a god who made a boulder he couldn't push. And through that lens, the cancellation of the magazine it was published in could be seen as an even higher power choosing to intervene on behalf of Satoshi Kon himself. He wrote in an unfinished and unreleased chapter that was included at the end of the graphic novel that he probably could have written a conclusion in 3 or so chapters. But he didn't. And if there was an ending for Opus that he had planned, we're never going to know what it was. So given the circumstances, with a manga where the main character is an author whose world is falling apart because he didn't know how to write an ending, while the author writing him goes off to create some of the best animated films ever made, maybe it's okay that this one was left unfinished.